Hey everyone, it's me, Justin from Blackberry Creative again, and today I thought it'd be really cool if we go through a breakdown of a recent project we completed with a property developer, a startup one based in, locally in Wollongong, that we had the opportunity to help out and build their brand identity, which is really cool, really fun project. So yeah, we'll go through a bit of behind the scenes look to come up with the initial concept designs all the way through to the finished product. So after our initial strategy meeting, we uncovered that QLTY is really customer focused, putting their needs first before anything else, being about real true craftsmanship, and focusing really on the build quality. And when it comes to materials they use, being really focused on the specifics that you would want a property developer to be. All about the textures used, the colors, all those little fine tuning things. So we want to really reflect that within the brands. Okay, so now I'm going to take you through our process that we took when we were developing this brand identity. And to start off, we sent the client some mood boards. On these mood boards were examples of different types of branding, different types of logos they used. We tried to incorporate logos that you'd sort of see in their sort of industry. What works, some good examples, some examples that are a bit different. And the purpose of this is to pick the brain of the client, see what they're envisioning, what they like, what they don't like, and then based from that, we then would start sketching. So this example the client really liked. The feedback was that it was really modern, geometric, simple, and ticked all the boxes of what the client was sort of envisioning. Same thing with this example, real bold, round the typeface, lowercase, and high contrast, so it'd stand out a lot, and that's sort of what the client was also after. This particular example here, the client didn't like. It was very regal, very elegant, with the script font. It was more of a high-end fashion brand rather than a property development business. With this particular one, it was a very busy. It reminded the client of a shopping centre. Just the overall shape of it, the layout of it, wouldn't really work well in terms of a lot of collateral they use. The second mood board, the feedback was this particular one they really liked. It was traditional. It had that established feel, but it was still contemporary. And the client really liked the relationship between the letters, with the K, I, and T. It's like the angles are very similar. They really liked that idea. And they didn't like this particular one, mostly because of the colour and just the overall style of it. It was very, again, more like a clothing brand rather than a professional property developer. So from this, the feedback from the mood boards, we found out that the client likes clean, modern, sans serif fonts, logo types, simple, dynamic, and doesn't like traditional things that are too obvious, bright red, pink colours, abstract logo marks. We explored logo types, logo marks, geometric shapes, and trying to create relationships between letters. So from these sketches we came up with 4 initial concepts, and using those elements that the client liked or gave us good feedback from the mood board session,
we sort of implement those elements within these styles. And the feedback from this was they preferred the rounded full stop. The letter L could be seen as an I, and we agreed that it appeals to the current target market, but the client wanted us to sort of explore maybe another direction that was really different from the current competitors. So from this, these two were sort of the top of the pack. We then had another discussion, and our client supplied some examples of what they think is really different from the competitors. So we decided to push it into a bit of a similar direction, but instead going for something a bit more different.
We decided that the best way is to use the best of both worlds from the examples the client sent us. The bottom example was really cool. The only issue that we found, which we explained to the client, is because it's so busy, there's so much line work in there. When it gets minimized for web applications, digital ads, even when you look at it, say it was a big banner going down the street, it still wasn't really legible, and it sort of didn't work on multiple scales. So we decided to still use the typeface, like the shape of the real rounded shape of the typeface, but still use but simplify it further and use those, like the top example, the real constructed box type outline, and sort of mesh them together and see what we could come up with. And that sort of led us to the next direction.
So from there, we came up with these concepts, or one concept, which just one's on a white background, one's on a black background. And so using the similar rounded typeface in the client's previous example, we combined a lot of the constructive line work as well, and simplifying the line work so that it's only the outside and the inside. So it's still clean, bold, stylish, and most importantly, it is more legible. The feedback from this was the client thought it looked a bit too retro. They wanted to see maybe an alternative line thickness and increase the length of the Q, or the end of the Q, just so it looks more like a Q, and also possibly being too much detail. After sort of seeing it in the flesh, they thought it might be a bit too busy. So from that feedback, we created this. We created a clearer Q, a more simplified line work, positioned the tag where it says property, somewhere a bit more easy to read, and just focused on making it really clear, yet still being bold line work so it can stand out. We then applied this logo to a mock-up. This allowed the client to sort of see what it will actually look like when it's used on realistic objects like business cards, letterheads, and all that sort of stuff. Sort of bring the brand to life. So when positioned next to examples of the competitors, you can see that it has its own style. It still differentiates itself without losing legibility, and it still stands out. So the feedback on this was that there could be seen like a void between the L and the T due to the shape. The second one was that the client liked how the Q had more of a slight curve at the bottom. And the other thing we discussed was that the T could cause confusion because it's only got the one part to the right. And from this feedback, we went to work and made those amendments to sort of refine the logo, and we came up with this. So then we added the final touches, smoothing out the typeface and the curves, and experimenting with the tag on the top right, experimenting with font size, so it's still legible when it's really small and legible enough when it's increased as a big banner. So once this was approved, we went to go through color options. The first one was more of a teal example with grey, blue, cool tones. The second one was more on the blue side, still using those cool colours within the greys, but more on the blue. And after discussion, we went with more of the teal. We refined it a bit so it has that really bright, vibrant teal colour for web, and also has a Pantone option for print, so it sort of matches as close as possible from screen to print. In terms of typefaces, we chose DIN Medium, which was a really good font that was clean, sophisticated, not in your face, but legible. And for the body copy, we used a old favourite, which is Helvetica. It's just really light, can be used for anything, and is always easy to read. So then we went to apply it to different mediums. This is the style guide, and which we designed. This was the cover of it, and you see we added this element of the line work of the teal blue line. So this shows how QLTY properties are highlighted through their innovative, high quality materials they use, their superior service, customer service, and their overall style, which makes them stand out from their competitors. And you can see when we go through the business cards, their print to web collateral, that we try to use this element throughout, keeping everything consistent, keeping everything similar style. You can see the use of the same fonts, and even through their website as well, we try to incorporate the same elements. So we keep these elements consistent, as it keeps the brand messaging consistent. Whenever a customer uses their website, picks up their business card, sees an ad, the message is the same. And you can see here we added also to some opaque backgrounds, and just sort of showing the uses of the logo and how to best use it.
So that pretty much sums up the whole project. The client was super happy with it. They were so excited to show us all, when they implemented it on their clothing, embroidered on hats. We're super happy about that, and I hope that was interesting, and I hope you found some knowledge from watching this, and stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully we can do more project breakdowns like this, and that's pretty much it for today. All the best. See you in the next video.